Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Here, Governor, try my lovely hot potatoes, with a bit of butter. Who is this? That was telesales in Victorian England.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
Oh, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean. I'm with Alan Cochrane, a.k.a. the Cockerel. I'm not doing the jingles. I might do them later on.
You don't always have to.
No, I don't feel like I have to do them every time.
I thought that was coming when Emily didn't get hers. I thought, we're not getting it.
But, never say never.
Yeah.
Is that a James Bond title?
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah.
Never say never.
Along with Skyfall.
Oh, yeah.
The new Bond film.
Oh, is that right?
That's what it's going to be called. It's all about how Kay Burley is taken out by a sniper during the afternoon news. I'm looking forward to it. She doesn't perish. She comes back as a rebuilt Bond villain.
Like a scary version of those moments in the 80s when people broke into the newsroom. Remember when it was used to be live and some protesters got in?
Oh, yeah.
They handcuffed
80s
them
or
once.
70s.
Yeah, I get mixed up with that and Jan Leeming's earring falling off.
Yeah. So
I don't think that was a protest.
When newsreading goes bad, clip shows or something.
Oh, I love that. I love it when weather goes bad. That's my favourite. Yeah. And also pork. I don't know if you've seen that.
When pork goes bad.
When pork goes bad. Lots of shots of people being, not being sick, but going, I know I wasn't.
Yeah, just
don't know if
right.
I should have. I knew that smelt a bit funny. Just an hour of that.
Frank?
Yes.
We've had a text in already on 81215.
On 81215.
Yeah.
And?
It's from Steve. He's either called Steve Swansea.
He won't be called Steve Swansea unless he's a sort of a club comedian.
Well,
like Eric Morecambe or David Essex, for that matter.
In that case, he's no friend to the comma. But
Okay.
he says, "Hi, Frank and team."
Do they have commas in Wales? There's no room. Too many consonants. Someone's got to give. Go on.
He says he loved the John Myatt portrait. So I haven't seen this. This was the show you did, wasn't it?
Yes, I did a show called Fame in the Frame. And this is a mystery to me. I was painted by John Myatt, who's a former art forger, for a Sky Arts programme. And I watched it this week. I've taped the whole series. It's a great show. And it was Imelda Staunton and Jim Carter, the well-known married actor people. So I thought it was a very good show. And then a man texts in now and says, I enjoyed... So I don't know if maybe they do a thing if you're on the show, you get a different one for a bit of variety.
All right,
yes, I'm sure that's exactly what they do.
Plug it into your Skybox.
A man comes round in the day.
Well, it just seems a bit odd, doesn't it? That everyone else,
Sky package.
Everyone else's cities. Well, mine was, of course, supplied by Sky, so that is not out the question. It's 3D for a start off.
Wow.
I'm jealous.
That's a sincere wow there.
You know, I've caught the actual logo 3 times now. I knew eventually. I've actually got quite a good grip on the Y of the Sky, but then it's gone. Anyway, that's enough about Sky. I mean, what is this? Some sort of promo? Speaking of cab drivers, which I'm sure many of our listeners are.
Yeah.
In a kind of where is that cab driver, all ready for their holidays?
Oh, I thought you meant they were cab drivers.
Well, some of them will be cab drivers.
You did have a cab driver story that I'm quite keen to hear.
Yes. Well, this, are you hurrying me along?
Yeah.
Okay.
In a word.
I got it. I was at the BBC. That's my life. And I got into a car, and I don't know if we'd even left the precincts when this guy said to me, my daughter's a bit of a celebrity. And I thought, it's interesting. Who's it going to be? And he was from the Asian subcontinent.
Oh,
so I was thinking, I'm trying to think of a famous Indian woman. And he said, she's the youngest person to go to all the continents. He said, including Antarctica. I said, how young was she when she did that? He said 205 days.
No.
And I said, right.
Did you have to do some mental arithmetic where you divided that?
I said, well, you must have been frantic. He said, no, I went with her. So I don't know what's 205 days, about 7 or 8 months.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a long... I mean, extraordinary Phileas Fogg child.
Yeah, no, what he did was he said he was browsing through the Guinness Book of Records. I mean, how 70s is that? I didn't think... Does it still exist, the Guinness Book of Records? But anyway, they always used to say it was... In my childhood, it was always just catching up with the Bible in sales. That was one of the big head-to-heads. This was years before Blur Oasis. It was Guinness Book of Records Bible.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were like that.
That's great.
It was like... There was Cohen Ovid, Guinness Book of Records Bible.
Yeah.
And white bread, brown bread. Stork butter. It's another big rivalry. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all the rivalries of my youth, but anyway, he said he was browsing through it and he saw that the youngest person to go to all the continents was about a year old or something. So he thought, So, he made some phone calls, booked some tickets, and whizzed round the globe with his tiny child. And she's in. So I must admit, I was quite impressed by that. So, I don't know about you, but I've got a world record.
Do you?
Oh,
I've got the world record for having the least world records, which is one. Just one, which is for having the least world records. It's quite a big group of us. But it is true, we've all got that record.
Does that mean we're all in it?
We're all record breakers. Or about that.
Oh, good.
Shall we end this by singing Dedication? No, but there's another thing to this, because it then turns out...
That's not the only achievement?
No, that's not the only... I don't mean our achievement. I mean, so he's got this daughter, and she's the youngest ever, been Antarctica, etc. So his son gets to about 4, and then says to him one day, why can't I have a world record?
Oh.
And then the second quest begins.
Oh, he didn't just say to him, you're too old.
No, at 4.
Yeah.
Different record. It's after a different record.
Oh, it's after a different
Yeah.
Cruel world, isn't it?
They had the tape measure out. World's shortest man was a no-go. And so he got the Guinness Book of Records off the shelf again.
Wow.
And this tale will continue.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
Where was I? Yes. So the 4-year-old kid says, why can't I have a record, Daddy? And he says, OK, we'll find you. He said, what about multi-polyglot?
And the child said, pardon?
The child says, I'll do it. And so what he has to do, in order to be the youngest multi-polyglot, you have to speak 6 languages fluently.
6?
Wow.
So he's bear in mind, he's 6 years old.
Yeah.
He's currently, he speaks English and Tamil already. He's currently learning Latin, Greek, Mandarin and Arabic. Come for the easies.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's thinking by the time he's 10, he'll be the youngest multi-polyglot. Guinness Book of Records.
That's amazing.
I wish I'd had parents that had realised that you need to start early on these records.
I worry about the gap.
These
though,
records.
that means by the time he's
You worry
10,
about the gap?
The gap, he's
they're in pretty good state. Why, have you heard something? It's rumours like this that send companies down the plug hole.
I mean, these children should be working in the gap.
They probably are indirectly. A lot of children for the Asian subcontinent.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He's going to get in the Guinness Book of Records age 10, and his sister's going to be like, 9 years behind, loser, because she's got in there at under 1, hasn't she?
Yeah, but she's going to be thinking, well, I need to go 2 records now.
Also,
next thing you know, she's walking past the pork pie shop with a wheelbarrow for practice sessions.
Let's face it, Frank, it's not like she's achieved anything. At least that second child. I don't wish to put her down.
It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Have you been to Antarctica?
No, but I had been to at least 4 continents by the time I was about 3.
Had you?
Yes.
No, I was incontinent. That's as close as it gets. I didn't get on a plane until I was 33.
I think I was...
And even then I was wearing a full-face balaclava. That was a different story. Anyway, it was apparently I'd had a lot of stress.
I've got a squeaky chair. Sorry, everyone. Can you hear that?
I can hear it. I assumed it was your spinal cord.
Thanks
I wasn't going to mention it. I noticed a pool of syrup behind your seat. I thought all the fluid from your spinal cord was running out. So, I would have gone. I was thinking if my parents had had the foresight, I would never have cut my toenails.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a nice, easy one.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to start early. I was thinking fold them under the feet, and then round back of the ankles, up the back of the calves, right the way till they completely enclose my body.
Uh-huh.
Then when I lay on the floor on my side, I'd look like a murder victim. What do you think? No, but you could do it. If there's anyone here now who's about to have a child, that's my advice. Work the record out in advance, and then you can start. Yeah, because you sometimes think, what's the point of having a child if they're not in the Guinness Book of Records? That's what this bloke has convinced me.
I constantly look at my own son and feel that anguish.
It has such relevance now, the Guinness Book of Records.
It is. I think it's at the centre. And pick an unusual record. There's so many children now after the Britain's Fattest Man.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be...
Whether they know it or not, they're in that competition.
I don't know it. No, Destiny's pushing them that way. Well, not so much pushing them as rolling them. But pick an unusual record.
Yeah. I wish my parents had been a bit more ambitious for me, to be honest. Because they were very...
You've done all right, haven't you?
Oh, well, they're very 70s and laid back. It was all very ambition is a bourgeois concept. They didn't like that very much.
Well, I like that as an attitude.
Oh,
though.
do you, Frank?
Yeah.
Oh, you would have liked... But no, I do wish they'd encouraged me to be good at sport. Because I've never been very good at sport. And I just think those like a Williams sister dad, that would be great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same about golf, because it's obviously not done Tiger Woods any harm, has it? There's been no long-term damage about him being hothoused to become a golfer.
Well, yeah. Do you think that's what made him sleep with lots of ladies? Because you played golf as a child? Doesn't make any sense.
I think it is...
You think you can't go to bed without 18 holes? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Too much pitch and putts.
Yeah, No, I don't know, you see. I was once taught Pilates by the former Lithuanian Sportswoman of the Year. I think we all were in our own way. No, I was. And, yeah, it's absolutely true. And she'd been one of those gymnast children who'd been taught by... And she said she hated it, you know, but she was in amazing shape. And I think I used to have an English teacher who said to me that if he had a child, he would manacle it to a piano for 5 hours a day. He said, and he'd hate me until he was about 18, and then he'd be eternally grateful because he'd... I think he'd be expected to play it, not keep the lid locked. Yeah, but it's a great opportunity to, you know...
Yeah.
To build a record breaker.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
We've had a text in. Frank, my daughter is just starting to learn to drive. Is there a world record for most expensive car insurance? Yes. When you next phone them up, Tony in Cambridge, add that she works in entertainment and see how that goes for you. Yeah.
I did that once, and I said, why is my insurance so high? And they said, you work in entertainment? I said, and they said, well, we associate with late driving and a lot of alcohol and drug abuse. I said, well, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything. She said, yeah, but imagine if you gave Terry Wogan a lift home, there was an accident, what if he sued? Am I going to... Did they think you're at a show and you say, do you want to... Which way are you going, Terry? I can probably drop you. You know, there's a car. There's a car comes for Terry Wogan.
Also, I don't like what they're suggesting about Terry Wogan's lifestyle either.
Also, that he's been vindictive enough to sue.
I don't know, Terry, but I'm not sure he's that litigious, is he?
No.
Well, I suppose it depends on the extent of the injuries and whether he blamed me.
I think Evans might, but
it could be. It could be terrible. I don't know. If I had to write a list of people I see disappearing through my windscreen at a sudden break, he'd be quite low down. I couldn't cope with Terry, especially if you looked and the hair was still on the rear view mirror. I couldn't cope. But you can imagine that he wouldn't go, watch out, Frank. He'd go, oh, watch out, we're about to it. I mean, there'd be no urgency. That's why it wouldn't be a right warning.
No.
Yeah, but on the subject of world records, I do wish that I had been encouraged to do gymnastics by my mum. She was very encouraging, sports-wise and stuff like that. No, I mean, I just think there isn't an area in my life that wouldn't be improved by the ability to do a backflip. I genuinely think most bits of life would be better if you could think, I can backflip out of this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If you had a meeting and it wasn't going well, I can leave this through the backflip.
Yeah.
And you can tell, because the most joyful moment in men's life is scoring a goal at football, and even then, there's some of them that score a goal and do a backflip, and the others don't. That's proof, innit, that backflips are fun to do.
I'm still chewing over the most joyful moment in a man's life is scoring a goal.
Like, to properly score a goal in a football match where people are watching, that's properly exciting, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Do you remember the guy who beat me at Noughts and Crosses?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I played him this week
Roll
at
that
I played him at Scissors, Paper, Stone and won 3-0.
Oh, good.
And I don't think a backflip could have made me any happier.
Really? Oh, well,
I
we're gonna
love
have
these
to agree to
retro
disagree.
tournaments you keep having with this character.
Yeah, I'm looking for a nice, simple... I can't be bothered to be charging games, you know what I mean, and computers and things. I want to get back to the old.
Chess?
The old
Let us know how the old Conkers
I've tried
goes next week.
chess. I find chess quite hard. Conkers would be... That's a good
Conkers.
idea.
You and him next
Are
week.
they in season, Conkers?
They are. Oh, are they ever?
That's
My
so
house is full of
AW.
them.
Don't you have to soak them in urine, or have I is that...
Think you're thinking of something else. Don't know what, but I think you're thinking of something
It's Conkers or Mexicans. I'm sure it makes them hard. And maybe it's football boots. If you get a very stiff football boot, I think you're supposed to soak them in.
Have you got urine and dubbing mistaken?
No, I was talking to David Baddiel about this, because he's got some stiff football boots, and he said, you must know some old worldy thing for this. And I said, I believe you soak them in urine, but it was easy when I was a child, 'cause you just hang them out the bed. But, of course, they, middle-class people, they don't have a concentrated area of urine in the house. You call that progress? Not Frank. What else?
I think Cockerell Jr. might well be in the Guinness Book of Records for collecting conkers and for the ability to have the same conversation. He asked me the other day when he was in his bath and he had a little, like a floating thing that you stick on the side of the bath, and it was floating, and he put a little Lego man on it or something like that. And I said, oh, it's like a raft. And he said, what's a raft? And I said, it's like a floating ledge. And he said...
A floating ledge?
Yeah, that's what I went for.
That's quite a good definition of a raft.
Well, I think it is, but then Cockerell Jr. went, what's a floating ledge? And I said, it's like a raft. And then he went, what's a raft?
But you made it circular.
I know, and once I'd started, I could not be broken. 25 minutes later, he was still in the bath in cold water, and we were still having the exact same
I bet he was crinkly.
I would have called social services.
Yeah, exactly.
God, you could have grated cheese on him.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
I've been to the dentist this week, first time for 18 months. And, last week we were talking about hearing people say, what's the damage? The person in front of me at the dentist walked up after he'd been in and said, what's the damage?
He's coming back.
Well, I thought, it's a good job that he said it to the woman on reception rather than the dentist, in case the dentist then went, you've got some early tartar corrosion on your molars.
I was going to say that could have been a genuine inquiry, in fairness.
Early tartar erosion on your molars.
Something like that.
I know, it's serious.
Okay. Turned out it was about 17 quid. Yeah, all right, yeah, fine. But the dentist had the radio on. He had a bit of Radio 2 on, and I was thinking...
what, in the actual...
In the thing, yeah. It was a weekday, so it was you're listening to Ken Bruce. We had a little Ken Bruce moment, and I was thinking, what... Would it have been better had it been absolute? I don't know. Had it been... I might have said, I can't listen to Matt Berry's voice. Could you do some drilling? But maybe not.
I went round David Baddiel's house the other night, and his son, Ezra, his little boy, was saying... it's Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner. Doing a Matt Berry. It was brilliant. He was better. I might bring him in.
Yeah.
But he's only a little man as well. He's going, it's Absolute Radio. It's terrifying.
It was a slightly weird moment because I suddenly realised, we're on the radio on Saturday mornings, and people are probably not in the dentist's chair during this. But
I don't know. I think you can have a Saturday morning appointment.
Could you?
Yeah.
Could you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm still a bit old school. I think everyone does Monday to Fridays in the real world.
I've been at 9 o'clock on a Thursday at my
yes.
late night Thursdays at my dentist.
I always do a
24-hour
weekend.
culture?
You've got a bit of free milk at schools.
I am.
Times have changed, like.
I am still in that mindset. But what are people doing when... I like the idea that somebody... Because we know vaguely, don't we? We know that there's a woman who's an athlete who was listening to us in the waiting room before going in the competition.
Emma, yeah.
And then wasn't there a scientist that was working and listening to the podcast? But
I don't know how representative these people
I don't. I hope there's someone doing some farming.
The bulk of our listeners are World Athletics Championship competitors. We're struggling. I mean, I imagine most of our listeners are still in bed.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I always think. That's why I never read erotica out on the show.
Oh, I hope they're not all in bed.
I don't want that kind of responsibility, you know what I'm saying? I think most of them are in bed, that's what I've always imagined. But maybe that's where I'd be if I wasn't doing this show.
20-somethings will be lying in bed having that sort of you make the tea argument that you have when you're in your 20s.
Well, no, I didn't have a girlfriend when I was in my 20s, so... It was, where's my sherry? When I lay in bed in the morning. But we're all different. Well, I'd love to know if there's anyone's doing anything unusual that they can tell us about.
How could they tell us that? 8, 12, 15?
Well, they could text us on 8, 12, 15.
Yeah.
I think that would be Tab.
I listened to Ian Lee in the bath the other night.
What was he doing in your bath?
Why
didn't he shut the door?
That is I shot an elephant in my pyjamas, isn't it? Yeah, how was that?
It was quite enjoyable. But I do find when listening to the radio in the bath, you've got to time your dunks because you go underwater.
Hold it.
No, thanks. You know when you dunk your head underwater.
I get out for that.
I was going to say I go before, yeah.
Yeah, I get out for. I mean, I'll stay in for liquid, but I'll get out for animal, vegetable, mineral.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
Emily.
Yes, Frank. No, I was telling you about how I sometimes, the other night, I was listening to Ian Lee in the bath.
Yes.
And it was very enjoyable, the experience.
Don't sound surprised.
No, I adore Ian Lee. He's one of my faves. The Lee Meister, as I think they call him.
Is that what they call him?
No, I've just made that up.
I call him Ian. To his face.
It's shorter, isn't it?
I call him Ian Lee when I'm speaking about him in the third person. I don't know him well enough to call him Ian in the third person. I don't like it when people do that. It's like when Ray Wilkins is the co-commentator on Chelsea and he says, "Oh, Frank did very well there." I think, no, I know you used to work with them, but now you just back off, Butch. That's my new catchphrase. Back off, Butch.
We've had lots of texts in.
Good.
Cockerel, and they're telling us what they're doing whilst listening to us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I hope this is...
No, it's all it's relatively clean.
It's all broadcastable so
relatively
far.
Clean. That's what I call this show.
721, the whole family are listening on our way to a karate lesson.
See, that makes me want more. I want to know what style. Are they doing Shotokan like the Cockerel did?
Oh, yeah, of course, the Cockerel was a big...
First Dan black belt.
Karate cock. Oh, yeah, first Dan.
Yeah. I'd like to know more, but I don't want to force them to text.
No,
don't force them, because if you imagine that car is a seething, bubbling mass of pre-violence.
Yeah.
You know, they're all getting keyed up to go in there and cause some... I think what I want to ask on the way back is, what's the damage?
Yeah.
Both to you and to your opponents.
Might be a cataclass. They might not hurt each other.
I'm worried about his...
There's all the jargon.
Yeah.
I'm
worried about him steering on the way back when he's got quite a lot of resin on the hands.
From...
You know, from the resin tray. Where he gets in.
You think it's like Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
They don't use a resin tray.
Do they not?
It's not like
They wrap
wrestlers
their
with a
hands in
towel.
string and dip them in hot wax.
Perhaps I'm thinking sumo.
Yeah.
That would have been a great one. Is that our whole family on our way to a sumo lesson? That would have been a great image.
That's from Absolute Japan.
We're on our 12th packet of jammy Dodgers and we haven't got off the drive yet.
549, listening to you streaming on a farm in West Sussex.
Streaming?
Excellent.
That's from Smalley.
But we need to know if he has a cockerel. That's what we need to know.
Oh, he has a cockerel. I bet. Is he called Smalley?
Yes.
I bet he gets very confused when I go. But he checks his watch and goes, he's a bit...
Hang on a minute.
He's a bit off this morning. Brian, I think that's the name of their cockerel. Strimming is... Now, forgive my ignorance, is that like cutting grass with like a whiz wheel?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's call it a strimmer or a whiz wheel.
Yeah, I think a whiz wheel is better, isn't it?
We've had a few
Do they not
ones.
use hose on the... and no.
Not since that guy shot Rihanna off.
No. Do they not have no scythes is what I'm after. Do they not have scythes?
Like those Grim Reaper accessories.
I'm not sure the scythes are in farming. I don't know why I'm now
looking at
suddenly
you.
being a consultant for the farming
Well, you sound a bit northern. I imagine you know your way around a combine harvester, am I right?
No, you're
I bet
right.
you know your way around a harvester.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. You should see me at a buffet. Yeah.
Any more?
Yeah, plenty of dog ones,
I
actually.
like Baz in Dorset, cockerel.
What's Baz in Dorset?
He
Where's
says,
he
I'm
gone?
sat on my bed with my 3 Rottweilers, Boss, Bear and Stella, having a cheese and onion crisp sandwich.
I wouldn't let them on the bed.
Oh, don't touch their dish. Don't let them on the bed.
They definitely don't touch their dish. They don't like it.
3 Rottweilers, definitely
Yeah.
don't touch their
I like
dish.
the cheese and onion crisp sandwich.
Yeah.
Though I love one of those. Plenty of
Yeah.
butter is the secret with that.
No,
Yeah.
Baz has got some, what he calls Tommy sauce.
Tommy's arms.
Yeah.
What on crisp sandwich?
Yeah, apparently.
Baz is something of an eccentric.
He's a
I think we'd
strange
already
man.
established that with the 3 Rottweilers.
3 Rottweilers on the bed. I'm not keen on that.
I sometimes listen to a podcast on a dog walk, so I can sort of see why that would catch on. And somebody else has texted in, listening, out walking the dog, Simon in Amped Hill near Bedford. Good.
I like getting a real sense now of our people.
Yeah.
If I was Baz, what I would do, I'd just get my fingers just under the edge of the fitted sheet, just ping it up, get the 3 of them in it, carry them downstairs,
on the
and
back.
say no more on the bed, you 3. Imagine, I don't know if you've ever seen 3 Rottweilers in a tightly secured fitted sheet. It's fun.
Was that your follow-up single? I never heard that.
It's my new book. It's a picaresque novel set in the dog training world.
Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
People have been texting it. Baz, who had the Rottweilers, has returned...
Had the Rottweilers? Oh no, what's happened?
I was
was
just
an
giving you a
incident.
précis of who I meant.
He didn't put him in the fitted sheet with a couple of house bricks and then to the nearby lake.
He's referred to that, though. Baz here again, it's their bed. They let me on it once a week as a treat. I tried that fitted sheet trick once, but now I'm known as Fingerless Baz with the 2 false legs. Good, yeah. But he has added lol. Which has made me think, oh dear, you've blown it, Baz.
Well, it might not be. It might not be. Laugh out loud. Yeah, good old Baz. He spent what, £1? I've got a frog in my throat. Keep talking.
Okay, well, Frank, we've had 759.
Wrap it in a fitted sheet.
Frank! Oh my God, that's the worst thing you've ever done. Oh, it's taking me back to the sherry days.
Oh, it was a mime. Don't worry, folks.
I
Frank,
find dry retching really funny.
I will stick around. You'll enjoy it. We've had a text in 759. There's still us monkeys working on building sites for normal pay, but don't worry, we are listening and enjoying it. Nice.
No, I think that was a double-edged sword, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A double-edged hod. Would be brilliant if they actually are monkeys.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because I've often thought there's no reason why they couldn't do building work. As long as they didn't, obviously the architecture and stuff like that, but the general labouring.
Of course, if
They
this
could
is
be
a bloke
trained.
that texted this is not helping, is it? Well, you going, yeah, you could be monkeys instead.
His word. Well, he's probably got a more... No, but do you think monkeys... my granddad believed that monkeys should be sent to war. Because... I mean, not in the skilled jobs, but in, it's just... Imagine if you...
Frontline stuff.
Well, imagine about... You're there and about 800 chimpanzees come over the hill. It'd be absolutely terrifying.
You'd be flummoxed.
You
This was
would.
in the days of Leica, though.
What? Lycra?
No, Leica...
Well, they won't wear Lycra.
Lycra
not in
the
that
dog.
Not in that desert warfare.
Like the dog. I mean, when they sent animals into hostile environments.
Yeah, exactly. They still have dogs at war, of course. Anyway, I'm not suggesting that monkeys could completely run building sites. That would be ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
if you can text in, then they're obviously quite capable digitally.
I mean, they got no alternating thumbs. How do they do that?
You must have one of those big phones with the numbers on it, like old people get. Do you know the ones I mean?
Yes, my father's got one, I know that.
Old phones with big numbers. I don't know that. It sounds like a country and western song. Old phones with big numbers from you.
Extraordinary.
Thanks.
Frank, we've had a text in from Mrs. C in Wiltshire. A little bit cheeky. I always tell my husband that I'm in bed with Frank on a Saturday morning.
Oh, Mrs. C, you are a one.
Isn't she?
Well, that's a lovely thought, though, Mrs. C. I hope she's wearing a nice flannelette nightie. That's who I'm picturing, Mrs. C.
Is that your thing?
I mean, it's not out the question that it could be a negligee.
It could, who knows? Oh, we should mention 408, who's texted in, "Hi, Alan, Emily and Frank. If you want to play Conkers, my daughter has beaten her last year's total with a collection of 2,267 this AW, which I think means autumn-winter in Emily
They're going to
speak.
need a lot of urine.
Yes, A-dot.
Oh, aren't they? We played last night, but unfortunately I won all 3 battles.
You're supposed to let him win, son.
Yeah, she's 12 and he's 47.
Oh, that's wrong.
And he's put "Love the show, Carl 408, which I think proves that he's a long-time listener, doesn't it? Long-time listener, first-time
Unless
texter
that's his score, his total tally.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, there you go.
She didn't text him because her
No.
fingers are too bruised and battered from his wild lashing swings at the conquering.
I'm glad you brought up the subject of conkers, because I'd like to discuss the sheen of Jodie Marsh this week.
Oh, Jodie Marsh.
Did you see?
I did see Jodie Marsh. Jodie Marsh, in case you don't know, is she a former glamour model? I don't know what
Yeah.
she used to be.
Yeah.
She's one of those people that's never really been.
No.
But,
She's reality TV star, that's what they call themselves now.
fair enough. But anyway, she's become a bodybuilder and came 5th in the some titled championships.
Yeah.
I had to say, I saw her on Lorraine.
Oh, yeah.
What a video that was! And
Oh, what a night.
of course, Lorraine couldn't get a good grip on her because she was so oiled. It was
Oiled up.
it's like trying to take up. If you ever grabbed an enormous hake when you've been on a fishing trip, oh my, you can't do it.
She's very ripped, though, isn't
Looked
she?
very oiled up.
Ripped.
Very.
I'll tell you something. I honestly felt I was going to cry.
Did you,
did you?
Frank? Why?
I've never been so. Oh no, because she's in the paper as well. She's got this incredible body and all bronzed and all that. And she had the little cop she'd won. It was like one of them, those places where they'll cut you a key.
Yeah.
And they have trophies in the window. It was one of them little, first year tug of war.
It was
cop.
like when I won the road safety trophy when I was 5.
Oh, I felt so sad. It reminded me that I was so rubbish at sport. One of the great tragedies of my life is that I love sport, but I can't do it. And we were in a thing called the crocodile race, which in itself, it's not Olympic, okay, before you look it up. And we came 3rd in that, our house, as it were. Not me and my family. Our house, like schoolhouse. And all named after Catholic saints, in case you're wondering.
Oh.
The first one's got a shield and the second one got a little cop, and we got a piece of blue cardboard with 3rd on it. And I remember, as I got it, because I'd seen footballers and stuff like this, I kissed the blue card. Oh my God. Oh.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
So, we were talking about Jodie Marsh.
We were.
And I find that Jodie Marsh makes me feel fine. She's blowing down the back roads. Yes, I think she looks amazing, really.
Do you?
Do you think she looks freaky and horrible?
No, I mean, I was quite... She said she's done very well out of it. She said she's got at least 50 men interested in her. That's quite a lot of men, isn't it?
She
I don't
said
think
that
I
men-
know 50 men.
No, I hadn't been interested in her for a while. She'd had a barren spell.
But what are they-
The Marsh had been
The
barren.
Keith Barron spell.
They interested in on what grounds, though?
Well,
I don't know, training tips.
They might
maybe?
want her to just, fill some rubble bags. Because she looks so... I mean,
She has, Frank, 15 egg whites a day.
I read that.
Yeah, I read that.
What a stupid figure that is. I mean, at least if you're going to eat eggs to excess,
Yeah.
eat them in multiples of 6.
Yeah.
I don't, I hate the idea of those 3 left
Pick
in the
between
box.
12
so
or
I'll come
18,
back.
hasn't she?
Yeah.
I
Maybe she's
eat
having
that
a
anyway.
rollover day, though.
I eat 15 egg whites a day.
Do you?
But it's probably in cake form,
Oh,
Yes.
not directly.
And also, why just the whites?
It's the yolk has got the cholesterol in it, hasn't it?
Exactly right.
No,
So
no, I was just, sorry, I was just reading the history of P.W. Botha, the former South African president. Did I read that out loud? No, but what is the yolks aren't good for you?
Well, there's a bit of debate about this, because
Oh, is
actually
there?
I think the yolks have a lot of good fats that helps you...
You know a lot about fat.
But Frank, it's
I'm like
it's
Jodie. I'm
A lot of
I'm all about the protein. She
for
looks
example,
like a
in
girl that's had
LA, a lot of
protein.
people will order an egg white omelette. That's very popular.
Yeah.
An egg white omelette,
Yeah.
that must be very pale.
It's disgusting, but it's lovely and keeps your weight down.
What does she do with the yolks?
I don't know.
You see, what I'd
Very
do...
medieval question.
What I'd do is I'd hard boil them, and then I'd use them to make direction signs for the blind,
Oh,
like large print braille. That'd work, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
even
don't know
sure
how
if...
they'd last.
Do you think this is true, that she is eating 15 egg whites a day, or do you think it's just... I mean, that would be menacing
No, I
as well.
think it's 12.
No.
I can't believe she's opening that third box just to take half of it. If she starts having odd numbers, she's going to end up developing a 7-pack.
Yeah.
Who wants that in their life?
it is true, because I've spent a lot of time, you're unaware of this, Frank's aware, I've spent a lot of time with the world's strongest men.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know they eat a lot of protein.
Oh, they do. Set the alarm for 4 a.m. to eat a Mars bar.
No.
How I know that, I can't reveal, but no.
Sure, that's not Marianne Faithfull you're thinking of. They set the alarm for 4 in the morning to eat a Mars bar.
Yes.
Thank God they're not sleeping with Bazzy's 3 Rottweilers.
Oh, God, yeah.
God, you wouldn't want to open the drawer on the Mars bar drawer 3 o'clock in the morning if you're on
Chaos
their
in there,
bed.
wouldn't it? Yeah, but surely that's just sugar. Surely the 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, is this for the weight? Trying to weight gain?
Exactly.
Weight gain.
Yeah.
But it does make... now that Jodie Marsh is all muscly, it does make... If 50 men are chatting her up, it must be quite difficult to chat her up now. Like, how do you let your eggs in the morning, love? 15 hard-boiled. Don't give me the yolks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll leave it. It's all right. It's quite a menacing chat up.
I like that you held your nose when you did that.
Did you like that?
Was you trying to put that... You know,
Hello,
she's got
Mr.
that-
Radio.
You know, she's got that little bit of guttering on the bottom of her nose. I don't know if she's had that put on especially. It looks like she could display some very small magazines around the perimeter
Work
of her nose.
wasn't so sophisticated in the 80s.
I haven't
Leave her alone.
noticed the guttering.
Frank, so do you and the cockerel, what do you think, I mean, physically, as men, do you think she looks nice? Does she look attractive like that?
Well, I she's striking. What I don't like is there's little bits of vein and that come up out of nowhere, like little designs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not always happy with the raised vein. No, I'm not. You know how Madonna's gone.
You'd be no good
Oh.
in the anatomy class.
Madonna's gone very veiny. I know.
Yeah.
I think I've said before, she looks like stripped cable. And she's going, and that stuff that they put on the
The gravy thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean that's not spray tan, that's beyond spray tan.
No, it's a sort of a dark oil, isn't it?
Do you remember there used to be the Cadbury's family on the beginning of Coronation Street? She looks like one of those. I mean, to be fair, they didn't have the muscular definition.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
Frank, we've had some texts in.
Good.
Oh, have we ever?
Well, we've had one in, this is from Kermit in York.
From Kermit. He's living in Yorkshire now, is he?
It's in Yorkshire.
I imagine him sort of covered in warts.
He doesn't need to be as close to the Jim Henson studios anymore.
No, let's face it, things have dried up somewhat.
Kermit says, is this classic rock or Radio 4? Play some rock, preferably Caroline by Quo.
Oh, so it's a complaint you've read out.
Sorry, Frank.
And it's all in capitals. So Kermit
Yeah.
is shouting, which he never used to do. He used to have better manners in his
Well,
heyday.
he used to. He could get a bit well, on the introductory bit.
To
introduce our guest star, that's what I'm here to do.
Does he still
This is
wear
what
that
he should
little
go and work.
pointed ruff?
He should work on Absolute Classic Rock. This guy.
Yeah.
To introduce our one and only Mr. Ted Nugent.
I think
Big
I
right.
know blokes like Kermit in Yorkshire.
Don't be anti-Kermit.
I'm not being
He's allowed his taste. And
But I bet he
Caroline is
got
a great
his,
track.
I bet he got his nickname because, like, at school he had newts, and they went, "Oh, rather than calling you the newt guy, we'll call you Kermit the Frog." Like, it was one sidestep, you know. It's one of
Yeah.
those.
I think he wore a strange pointed ruff around his neck, which is why he got the nickname Kermit.
This is the worst
Yeah.
case possible. Okay, well, I think he could only raise his arms with assistance from heavy-duty wire. Okay, have we now done it?
Yes.
His name's Kermit. Do you think no one's ever mentioned that to him before?
And ironically, we've had a text from 878 saying,
Not
"Hi,
Miss Biggie.
Hi, Frank." Yeah,
It'd be great if the mop... It turns out we've got loads of mop...
she's
I bet we
taking
have
up
got
weight
loads of
training. Hi, Frank, Emily and Cockerell. We are listening in our reptile shop in Oxford, brackets Evolution Reptiles, close brackets, celebrating a year in our shop. That's nice, isn't it?
Evolution reptiles.
That's-
So
I
they're
love
still...
that.
They might have changed by the time you get them home.
And that's Pete, Ricky and Dave.
It's
Don't
like
get yourself a
sonning.
chameleon. Yeah.
You know, sonning when you put it in your hair and then it would keep getting blonder.
Yeah.
These are actually evolving, these.
I'm Frank. I like the sound of the three friends, Pete, Ricky and Dave, running the reptile shop. It's
Yeah.
like Rainbow or
Don't
something.
mind a reptile shop.
Yeah.
You don't. Sometimes I'm not saying this is true of Pete, Mickey, and Mickey.
Pete,
Ricky and Dave.
Oh, Ricky, sorry,
Frank.
not Mickey. I thought it might be Michael Gecko. No, I went in one once. Not in. Can I say not in?
Oxford.
Not in Oxford. And they sort of had the creatures, if I may call them that, in drawers in like plastic. I don't mean Victorian bloomers. I mean in like little plastic. I didn't feel they had enough room,
Oh, right.
and it made me unhappy. Because although you know, I can take or leave reptiles, I don't like to see them treated badly. So I hope that these three are
sure.
give them a bit of elbow room. Many of them, I believe, have elbows.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Reptile Corner.
And quite a few people letting us know what they're doing while listening
Yeah.
to the
Good,
show.
I'm loving this.
We-
It's giving me a picture of our listeners. I've
It's
never really
nice,
had
isn't it?
before.
It's nice to know, be able to fill in the gaps.
You leave that Mrs. C alone.
I'll tell you what I do like was good morning, listening to you on my way to Tai Chi. We had some going to karate, and now we've got a more soft martial art.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, is it soft?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I see it as it's so profoundly inwardly spiritual. In many ways, it's a bigger and tougher thing than punching people in the face.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Cockerell, with your karate bias. They were a
believe-
good band.
Maybe the karate bias.
Yeah, I've probably been in a band called Karate Bias.
Me too.
Yeah, I went to one Tai Chi workshop I went to once, and it's all right.
It's just all right.
I'll tell you what I like about it. I like it when you walk through the park in the morning and they're like Chinese men and stuff just doing it on their
Yes.
own. That takes incredible courage, I think, to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You're right, though. It has made everything very still and
It's
calm.
gone calm in here since we've mentioned Tai
I
Chi.
bet Kermit's absolutely furious. Shut up and play some quo.
All this calmness.
Yeah. We don't want calmness, we want pictures of matchstick men.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
Frank, we've had lots of texts in.
Oh,
It's been a great day. I feel that we're making contact.
We've had, morning Frank, I'm roofing in Shiplake.
Is that one of the Rottweilers?
That's Kelvin, who describes himself as also a monkey.
Oh. I wish we hadn't brought up the... I didn't bring up the monkey thing, someone else.
No, it's Charles
So if
Darwin.
you're roofing, that'd be handy. He did. Charles Darwin didn't just bring it up, he went on about it.
You'd say, shut up about the monkey
I bet
thing.
he works at Evolution Reptile.
Well, evolution reptiles have texted in.
Or if they bolt.
They've texted in a picture saying our snakes aren't in drawers. Ricky and Dave are.
Our
They've
lawyers
got
will be in
pictures.
touch. That's nice.
Oh, they do.
No, that's good. They've sent pictures of snakes.
Yeah, they're not litigious, not like Wogan.
No.
So-
I don't know where Wogan keeps his anaconda.
Oh, Frank.
What? What? That was you see. Honestly, it's all gone so wrong.
Frank, we've had another text in, picking up dog doos from the garden whilst listening to Frank and Mates.
That seems strangely apt.
And actually, Simon in Amptill, who was walking his dog
Simon
in
Amptill
Bedford...
used to do Boscombe.
Yeah, that's right, Simon. Well, now, apparently, he's walking his dog near Bedford. Still listening, still walking the dog. That was ages ago, wasn't it? And he's put dog eating cow poo, yuck. There's a sort of animal poo thing
There is, yeah.
running through this. Somebody else has...
I've always thought this was the perfect accompaniment to animal excrement
What about
adventures.
the people helping out at Equine Market Watch?
I can't see
They're
them.
picking
They've
up
moved.
horse poo as well.
What's going
Oh,
on?
goodness
Peat and
me.
Bromyard.
Is this the biggest section of our Venn diagram of listeners? Is people somehow viscerally involved with excrement? Oh no! I was hoping people would say I'm doing open heart surgery.
Yeah.
Listening to actually they probably have to switch it off in the open heart surgery.
Yeah, there might be
thing.
a rule. There might be a rule.
Yeah, I understand they're quite strict during open heart
In
surgery.
case we play Staying Alive or something.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
prefer to call them petty.
They are. They're pernickety.
Political correctness gone mad, isn't it?
I mean, do you have to wear the mask every time?
Why can't you play Caroline by Quo?
Why can't you have a smiling face on the big smiley mouth on the mask?
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
We've had Sally Goulden. I like a full name. Quite retro on our show.
Yeah.
She says, just off to the Swan Sanctuary to amputate a broken wing. Is that close enough to open heart surgery?
Well, it's pretty close, I must say. I hope she's some sort of official person, and not just a local do-gooder who went past last night and thought there's something wrong with that wing. I'll go back and get my Stanley knife. Yeah, but that's that. I'd be quite frightened to amputate a swan's wing.
No, they're not very chilled out, are they?
They're aggressive.
What do
in
they
the
do?
extreme.
What do they do with the broken wings?
I don't know, but I'd
Take these broken wings and learn to fly again.
Try again.
If they've got nothing, if they're going to throw it away, I'll be happy for them to put it in a jiffy and send it into the show.
Send it to, what's the
God.
pet shop called?
Be careful what
I
you
know,
wish
it's only
for.
I think I could use it at home for Dustin.
Yeah.
Be smashing in a pillow.
You know Dustin, my male lover. Oh, he loves a feather thrashing.
Frank, we've had another text in from Graham in Maidstone. Hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. What do you think about text speak and normal conversation? Oh, I like normal conversation. Was watching 8 out of 10
OMG.
Cats last night.
8 out of 10 cats, okay.
And one of the guests uttered soz in the middle of an answer. I almost turned the programme off.
I have to say, and I don't think that is text speak. It might be used as text speak, but I used to say soz when I was at school.
I agree. I don't think soz is text speak.
Soz about that? I used
Although,
to
I
say.
mean, I have turned several panel games off in my life, but that's not why.
Yeah. Soz about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
soz, I think, is fine. Definitely.
Soz, yeah. That's a coincidence because I met Elton John's old English teacher
Did you?
this week.
Yeah.
And he was telling me when they did vocabulary that sorry was the word that Elton had the biggest problem with.
Whereas
Far and
Ronnie
away,
Corbett loved saying it. didn't
Yeah. But Elton found it far and away the hardest
Yeah.
of all the... Weird.
And we've also got Ellie who says, listening to you while waxing down my surfboard.
Yeah, wasn't the girl who was going to fix the swan's wing called Ellie?
No, that was Sally Goulden.
Oh, I'm thinking of Ellie Goulding, aren't I?
Yeah,
I was going to
sure.
say, I don't want her going out there waiting for a wave before she can get to the poor injured swan. She's waxing her surfboard. I
Yeah.
thought it was a bit chilly for that kind of...
You think, but I think this is is it about the warmest time of year for the sea?
Isn't it?
Doesn't it get warmer as...
It's a bit late to start a full-scale texting.
We're nearly
I'd be
done.
very interested to know that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the sea, I wouldn't know.
Oh.
It's one of my worst things.
Yeah, I hate the sea.
It's very overrated.
No, I like looking at it, but I don't like being underneath it.
It's got a lot of market share for something that's not that popular, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's
doing all right.
People are drawn to it, like your son to a conker. If I may say that.
yeah. I mean, it sounds creepy now, but I suppose you meant it that way.
Yeah, speaking of unexpected moisture, what about that Nancy DeLolio thing on
Sabotage.
on Strictly Come Dancing? She went to put on a lovely dress.
Well, you say lovely.
Well, I thought it was quite nice, lime green, bit of chiffon, my favourites.
Oh, pistachios.
Dustin likes it, doesn't he?
And yeah, oh god, yeah. And and it was soaking wet.
Apparently. Sabotage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but if I was the policeman investigating that, my first call would be David Walliams. You know, they're not that far from the Thames at the BBC, and he's probably going past, and he's seen the light catch a bit of lime green chiffon, and he couldn't resist.
Yeah, he loves to dress you up, doesn't he?
Yeah. I'm told he travels almost exclusively by sewer now. Now he's got a taste for it. No, well, that was a mysterious... I don't think... I saw her dance. It was rubbish.
Is this when she dropped the feather boa on the floor and was just sort of drifting
She had an
about?
incident with a pistachio feather boa.
Who hasn't? But not on national telly.
Yeah, Anton smiles through everything, Frank.
No, he's amazing. But the thing is, the advantage is he's extremely porous. So he's got skin like chamois leather. He would have taken most of it on himself. I like the fact that she said Edwina Curry is not glamorous enough.
Yeah. They're having a feud.
She's obsessed with glamour, that woman. I think that it was when Sven went to Leicester City, that might have been a turning point in their relationship.
Obsessed with glamour.
Yeah, so he pushed her too far.
What's weird is how many series of Strictly Come Dancing there's been that haven't had a sabotage story. You think, if ever there was a sabotage story waiting to happen, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think you could have ended that sentence with how weird how many series of Strictly Come Dancing there's been. Anyway, we can't sit here talking all day, us monkeys. And not the weekend podcast will be available this week. That's completely different stuff, what we do, the three of us. And that's available from Wednesday morning. It's been lovely talking to you this morning. Now get out.
Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.